Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Hello. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? This is Life Under Trump. I am Queen Lillie, and we are talking about the Epstein Files again because there's so much to cover. From the Republican MAGA Party coming for Donald Trump to the Democrats have now got a subpoena, and it was approved that the Epstein files be released. While the MAGA Republican leader Mike Johnson was trying to lie and said that they had more no's than yays. No, my Hispanic brother says no, that ain't happening. What he did, they made sure they said out loud, and they counted who said yes. Even Mace agreed for the Epstein files to be released. That is Mike Johnson's regret, his worst nightmare, because he was trying his best to cover Donald Trump. A vast majority of the Republican MAGA Party agreed to the files being released. And we have to thank a Black sister for that, yes. Because of her, it was subpoena and she was granted her subpoena. And what she has to say, you will see in just a moment. Y'all, I don't even have the words for it. It's so beautiful that things are flowing properly as they should for the American people. Right now, I said the American people, what we're winning. We got W's. We're winning. Yes, the American people are winning right now because they're going to have to release those files. And Donnie and Mike did everything they could to stop those Epstein files from being released. Well, honey, that sister said, no, 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 no. I put in a subpoena, and my subpoena was granted. Yes, it was granted. So we will be, and you know what she said? She does not want the redacted. She said the judge agreed to it. They do not want the redacted. They asked for the full Epstein files. What I'm telling y'all, the devil is a liar. Yes, the devil's a liar because we're getting those Epstein files, y'all. I know Donnie gonna pull a stunt. Now he gonna come back and tell y'all he got sickle cell and lupus. And that's mainly what Black people get. Donnie will pull any stunt to save his own ASS. Because now he gonna come back with something. Now that that subpoena is approved and that sister got it approved. Yes, the representative, she's a Black woman. Yeah. See, you got to get something done. You better go to a Black woman. I'm not being racist. I'm stating the fact. If you want to get something done, you put a Black woman up there to do it. That's why this country would be further along if VP Kamala Harris was rightfully given her seat in the Oval Office. Her seat. Yes, God. Yes. Hello, everybody. Again, I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. Welcome to the palace, baby. This is a day we're going to celebrate because the American people got to win up in here. We got to win up in here. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Cheers to us all. Drink plenty of water. It helps with your skin, your hair, etc. Also, check out the shop tab and get you some Tresemme. That's what I use on my hair. I use the entire line of Tresemme products. They hydraulic, moisture, everything, and they keratin products. Y'all, get you some Tresemme. Trust me. That's what I use on my hair. My hair is healthy. I do my hair myself. I trim. I cut my hair. When my hair was going through something because of menopause, I trim, cut my hair myself, layered my hair myself. I went to beauty school. I am licensed. I have license, yes. So I know my stuff. And I spent my entire youthful years around women doing hair. So that's how I know how to do my own hair. Anytime I will let somebody else do my hair will fall out to the scalp. And I'm not exaggerating. I had to get my hair cut so low to a Tony Braxton haircut before and a Halle Berry haircut. And then it grew right back. As long as I don't let other people do my hair will stay healthy. And I'm not pretending. And I'm not bashing any of you hair beauticians in my chat. I know my hair better than anybody. And that's why I have healthy hair. Try those Tresemme products. Click on it and check it out. Also, my website is IamLillieYoung.com. If you want to get you some organic lipstick and make your lips look like mine, full and beautiful, long-lasting, vegan-friendly, baby, yes. Anyway, this is a day to celebrate. We got to win, America. We got a W. We ain't got an L. The Republican MAGA Party right now has an L. Yes, God. We're going to learn about Hulk Hogan. He done crunked over. We got a lot to cover. More on the Uncle Luke situation when he was invited to a party at Donald Trump's, one of his new mansions that he had, and there was no music, but it was some young underage women there. We got a lot to cover. We're going to begin starting in just a moment. Again, I am Queen Lillie. Hit that like button for me. Welcome to my castle, Mikasa. Welcome. And if you want to support me and show me love, you can send me super chats and super stickers. You can even send me gems. And you can send me money through Venmo. My Venmo is in my description, and my PayPal link is in my description. So if you want to show me love and donate to my channel, that is the way you do it. Thank you. Again, what we talking about? Epstein and Donald Trump. Y'all, it's going down. It ain't going down in my DM, but it's going down. It's going down in that Oval Office because right now Donald Trump is huffing and puffing and singing a song because he mad. Because, honey, that black queen, like I said, she get things done. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm excited today, y'all. Can't nothing steal my joy now, because now that I see we are getting ahead as the American people, and we deserve this. We deserve this win, America. Hello, King LaSwan. Hello, Queen Victoria's One. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. I love all of you. Hello. How you doing? Hello, Queen Abigail. You're beautiful. How you doing, Queen Abigail? Hello. Queen Sheila. Hey, baby. How you doing, Queen? How you doing? Y'all, this is some I'm gonna let y'all listen to something that has to McConnell first, because he's part of the mega Republican Party and he's been a problem for a long time. I love my girl Nancy Pelosi, and I used to want to go to war for Nancy Pelosi. I still love her, but the older ones are holding America back. God made us a diversity group of beautiful people of every shade, but those people that been there so long, they holding America back. Nancy Pelosi, you know I love you, girl. I rock with you. You're a beautiful queen. Mitch McConnell, you is one of Satan's angels. It's time to get them oldie goldies out of there. I love you, Nancy, but it's time to go. And I think Nancy did step down. Yeah, I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Hold it to my head, not my heart. So I'm going to show you something I got to do on Mitch McConnell. A recording got released. And this is not good. Y'all doing bad right now, Magga. Get your people together, girl. Hold on. Wait a minute. One moment. This is Mitch McConnell. Listen carefully.
We have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days.
It's a transcript from Mitch McConnell.
There's no way we can do that, Mitch. Black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to...
They're in the process of this, y'all. Project 2025.
State-funded...
The new Esther project as well. Rest of my life.
To pick all the produce as a part of their work program, to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor and the bounty of God. Kevin, I don't think that anyone will go for that. Mitch, it's all about grooming. Start in the first grade, and by fourth grade, they'll be ready to do it. Kevin, but we already have people to pick the produce. Mitch, we have to finish the wall. Kevin, no way that's going to happen. Mitch,
this is a transcript being read.
Out of the United States. Kevin, like doubling ICE. Mitch, yes. Kevin, this will be too hard, and we'll be too busy trying to sustain this over long periods of time and generations. Mitch, no, we get rid of the abortion laws in the United States and we make it mandatory that all 8th grade females be impregnated in order to graduate. Kevin, oh, like replacing the crops. Ha ha ha. Pun intended. Also, Kevin, I will work on getting the abortion banned. You work on state-funded religious schools. Mitch, we don't have to do either. Lindsey and I took care of that with the new SCOTUS.
So Lindsey Graham, McConnell is Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, and he mentioned Lindsey Graham. That doesn't surprise me with Lindsey Graham because we all know that Lindsey Graham want to borrow my pink panties. We know this. That MAGA Republican Party want to borrow my pink underwear and want me to paint their toes pink. Well, I'm licensed. I can do that, okay? I will paint you and have your nails beautiful like mine. I wear my own natural nails. I keep them painted. Some days I come on here, they're not painted. But anyway, they have a plan for America. And because our beautiful Republican sisters and brothers decided to vote for Donald Trump, it has speed up the process of what is going to happen in America. We got to fight back and we must come together. That's all I got to tell you on that. Move along. One moment. So we're gonna skedaddle to something else. I was gonna let y'all listen to this lady, but I'm gonna push it to the end. But we're gonna get on to the good stuff. We're gonna come back to this, okay? There's some other things I wanted to show you that I got saved on this iPad, but we're gonna get on to the goods, okay? Because y'all on here for the Epstein juice. Y'all ain't come on here for no pimp juice. You came in here for the Epstein juice, and I got you, and I love you. I got you real good up in here, baby. Okay, so the GOP portrays Trump. The subpoena of files was issued. But hold on, I'm going to let you hear something else first, okay? Because I love you. So Representative Summer Lee's motion to subpoena the Epstein Files has been approved by the House subcommittee. And looky, what do we have here? Hold on. Because of Summer Lee, Representative Summer Lee, that subpoena went through. So this is Representative Summer Lee. She's a part of Congress. She's young too, y'all. But then again, she could be my age because you still look young at my age, and I'm 51. But y'all, let me show you that. I'm going to read it to you before we get to the video and they're discussing all of this, okay? This is Representative Summer Lee. The House subcommittee just passed my motion to subpoena the Epstein Files. The DOJ just now released them to the Oversight Committee. The American people deserve transparency and accountability, and his victims deserve justice. The wealthy and the powerful are not above the law. Let me say that again. This is Representative Summer Lee has to say. The wealthy and the powerful are not above the law. Can I get an amen? The wealthy and the powerful are not above the law. God didn't make nobody better than the other. We are equal. Some are outsmarting you. Some are a little bit more intelligent, may have more beauty, but we are still equal. So let's get to this video right quick, okay? Just a moment. I got to open it up. Bear with me. I love you guys. Thank you for coming to my live.
Wow, this is Donald Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson's worst nightmare. A majority of Republicans in the House Oversight Subcommittee just turned against Donald Trump and MAGA Mike, and they are issuing a subpoena to the Department of Justice to turn over all of the Epstein files. Now, Donald Trump had his protectors in the House of Representatives ready to go. He has MAGA Mike Johnson. Okay? He's got MAGA Republican Clay Higgins.
Because MAGA Mike gonna pull a stunt.
They didn't expect this maneuver.
It would not work.
The Democrats knew that based on the other Republicans in this House Oversight Subcommittee, that they actually had the votes and that they could win on at least an 8-2 vote to release the Epstein files from the Department of Justice by way of a subpoena. So you had Democratic Congresswoman Summer Lee, when nobody was expecting it at this House Subcommittee, she brings it up and she goes, all right, I'm taking a vote right now. We want to issue a subpoena to the Department of Justice
Justice to release the Epstein Files. Now that put these MAGA Republicans in a bind.
Amen, Queen
Democratic
Victorious
Congresswoman
one.
Lee knew the MAGA Republicans in that room had made statements
We gotta
saying
win,
that they
America.
would be in favor of
We
releasing
got a
the
W.
files. So then you had this situation where MAGA Republican Congress member Clay Higgins, who chairs this subcommittee, he tried to
This is
scuttle
for
the vote.
America.
So he goes,
We
we're in
winning.
recess. He tried to figure it out. He was going to MAGA Mike. What do I do? What do I do? We're trying to protect Donald Trump, but there's enough MAGA Republicans in here who are going to turn against Donald Trump, and they're going to vote to subpoena the Department of Justice to turn over these Epstein files. What are we doing? I guess we got to go back in right now. So they went back in, and then there was a vote. And then you'll see when I show you this clip
Magic Mike pulls stunts.
Clay
Pay
Higgins, the
attention.
MAGA Republican chair of the subcommittee, he lies.
Yep.
And even though it was clear that the
chairman
aye votes
lies.
beat the no votes, he's like, it looks like the no's have it. And then Democratic Congress member Garcia is like, let's take a roll call vote. Let's actually count the people. And it turns out it was an 8-2 vote to subpoena the Department of Justice to turn over the files, exactly what Trump and MAGA Mike were trying to avoid. That's why MAGA Mike was pushing this into recess. So hat tip to
our Democrats are smart at Magic Mike,
who now is the ranking member of the Oversight Committee, and a special hat tip as well to Democratic Congresswoman Summer Lee. But they got the MAGA Republicans to turn against Trump. So first, let me show you how this was all lining up. So here you have, for example, MAGA Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she goes, look, I like Trump, but we got to release these files. Here's what she was saying.
Hats off to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I won't say that often, but hats off to this woman.
He has a great pulse on things, but on this issue, the American people really want to see transparency. It's become one of those basically fractures that is too big to ignore.
Then you had MAGA Republican Congress member Bacon. Here's what he had to say. Let's play it.
I just support transparency. I'm willing to vote on a bill.
These Republicans are like, not no more Trump.
Let's vote on transparency, put everything out. I think if there's anything hidden, it's probably in the court system, but we should ask for it.
What do you mean that the administration is handling of this? I mean, they're saying that all this is going to come out and then backtrack on it.
You know, they misled people to think there was a lot more there.
Then you had MAGA Republican Congress member Scott Perry. Here's what he had to say.
I just think it's important that the American people know what's occurred here.
They know Trump in those files. We know it.
I've been very clear on my opinion on this issue for a long time.
They finally growing some balls, y'all.
Some are, yeah.
Then here you have MAGA Republican Congress member Chip Roy and MAGA Republican Congress member Ralph Norman. Let's listen to what they had to say. Play this clip.
I think the administration will put more stuff out in August. And like I said, if they don't, then I promise you there's going to be some more looking at this in the first week of September.
I mean, you'd have your head in the sand to say that this is going to go away.
It will not go away, Trump.
I assure you that we'll be working together in a bipartisan manner to make certain that that every word is perfect and reflective of what our agreements were today.
Then you have MAGA Republican Nancy Mace. Now,
can you
Nancy
believe Mace
did try
agreed?
to protect Donald Trump in this House subcommittee. She tried to insert language that says,
but
only
she
the
still voted
credible
yes.
information can be subpoenaed from the Department of
Excuse
Justice.
me, y'all.
But the Democrats pushed back on that and said, how would you
Sorry,
determine
you
what's
guys.
credible or what's not credible? And then the MAGA Republicans tried to add some additional language like, okay, we're going to go
Hold
after
on.
information related to the Clintons and relating to what Biden's DOJ was doing. And the Democrats were like, sure, go for it. Get the info about the Clintons. If you want to put language about Biden, all good. We want full transparency. So here you have
I like
Republican
this.
Congresswoman
This is going
Nancy
great.
Mace,
The way
and
we
she's
need
like,
it to.
look, we got to have transparency
Very well.
in this one. Here, play this clip.
And I'm going to amend the motion to protect the identity of the victims.
You think the speaker adjourning the House early to avoid this whole fight over Epstein?
This fight's coming no matter. I mean, this is here, and I've made it part of my life's mission to protect women and kids, and I think that. I'm ready to take this vote. I think we should take this vote and move forward, move this country forward. And the victims deserve justice, and people deserve transparency.
I agree. The victims
And you have
deserve
MAGA
justice.
Republican Congressmember Warren Davidson. Here's what he's got to say.
I don't really see why we would do anything other than bring Pam Bondi in and say,
Nope, don't get her involved. Pam Bondi is not going to do right.
But you want to hear her testify.
Let her be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on that committee, but I really would like the committee of jurisdiction to bring her in and say, hey, you start this off. You've got binders. Please explain. We are led to believe there are going to be some prosecutions. If
She's gonna lie.
We assume there's going to be convictions. And I think that's really the disconnect.
And now you have MAGA Republican Congress member Thomas Massey, and he's been saying MAGA Mike is scared. Here, watch this.
What do you make of the speaker's handling of this issue over the past couple of weeks?
I think he's scared.
Yeah, MAGA Mike is scared.
I think, well,
it makes me wonder, is he in the files?
80% of MAGA, once these files released, they were promised this, they expected this, and it's not happening. But at the same time, he feels an allegiance to President Trump, who's gone against the MAGA base on this. So I think he's torn. I think the right thing to do would be just leave it up to the people's house. Let's vote on whether to release these files or not. And I hope he does not try to use some kind of parliamentary procedure.
Oh, he will.
To subvert or hide the release of these files.
Just to follow up on what you said earlier, you don't think the public pressure is going to go away over the next 5 weeks? Do you see it lasting as long as 26 midterms?
Imagine Mike will pull stunt. It's just in him to do it. He's like Trump.
This will be an issue that does follow Republicans through the midterms, and it will follow each individual Republican through the midterms. It will follow people into their primaries. Did you support transparency?
Oh, it's gonna mess up with their primaries because we're getting y'all out of there.
Elected and fall into the swamp.
Sorry, Republicans.
Did you decide that getting reelected was more important than exposing a pedophilia ring and a blackmail ring? If you did, then maybe you shouldn't be coming back. And that'll be a referendum in every primary and every general election in the United States in 2026, which is why I'm urging people to get onto my resolution to co-sponsor the release of these files before we go into August recess.
Call your local
There's only 6 legislative
office.
days
Stay on it, y'all.
Introduce this bipartisan resolution.
Because Donald Trump and Magic Mike gonna pull some stunts to try to stop all of this.
To start collecting signatures and force the vote. As soon as we get back, there's going to be a vote on this, unless the speaker subverts it.
And here's Massey again. Let's play it.
Well, it wouldn't really matter. Their Epstein bill resolution is non-binding, so it's kind of fake. The resolution that I have co-sponsored with Rokana would actually bring up legislation that would be binding on the president.
Is your understanding that will ripen the day after lawmakers get back from August recess?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have 6 days and we needed 7 days for the discharge petition to ripen before we could bring this up before the August recess. So we'll have to bring it up after the August recess. But the good news is the speaker has no interest in keeping us here one extra day, because this will ripen in an extra day.
Have you heard from the president?
I've not heard from the president directly.
I drink cold brew year round and used to
run, Rudolph, because they coming for you, Trump. You better run, Rudolph, run.
So with that as background, watch what went down. You're gonna love this. Here, play this clip.
Document to the record listing the members of this committee and their individual calls to release the Epstein files.
Shona, without objection. The subcommittee stands in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
Point of order. Are we not going to take the vote?
We're in
Pay attention, beautiful people. Pay attention.
Yeah.
They pulling
Should we take
stunts.
the vote from the motion?
We're in recess pursuant to previous order, which passed without objection. We're in recess, and we will move to those votes. So this is out of order conversation. I'm just being polite.
Those white Republican men are bullies.
Without objection, votes would be moved until after deliberation. Subject to call of the chair.
Pay attention. I love you guys. Pay close attention. What's gonna happen?
So when is the actual? When are we back in session for this subcommittee after votes?
Subject to the call of the chair, as I stated. So
We're going to do a permanent recess.
The previous order. So stand by. And now we will be calling up Miss Lee's
Summer Lee gonna
motion
speak
as
up.
amended. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. No. In the opinion of the, pardon?
The ayes have it.
In the opinion of the chair, the no has it.
He lied. No does not have it.
Recorded votes are
There was
Recorded
more
vote is
aye.
called for. The clerk will call the roll.
Trying to
Mr.
pull
Gosar.
stunts.
Mr. Biggs,
Hit the like button, please.
Ms. Mace. Ms. Mace votes aye. Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry votes aye. Ms. Boebert. Mr. Jack.
aye.
Mr. Jack votes aye. Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee votes yes. Mr. Bell.
Aye.
Mr. Bell votes aye. Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon votes aye. Ms. Presley. Ms. Presley votes aye. Mr. Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Garcia votes aye. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman votes no.
The man that votes no, remember who he is. You better watch your kids around him.
Mr. Biggs is not recorded. Mr. Biggs votes nay. Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 8, the nays are 2.
Now here's Congresswoman Lee talking about what went down in her own words.
Summer Lee, y'all.
So thank you so much for being here. So a lot has happened today, and I just tried to outline it. The full oversight committee said is going ahead with the subpoena.
Summer Lee has
What happens
backbone.
next? Well, next after
She has
after
bigger
Comer signs
balls
it, right,
than
he
the
said it,
Republican
he has
white
to sign
men.
it. He signed the one for Maxwell within 24 hours. So he says that we expect it. Then the DOJ has to release those files to the federal law enforcement ranking subcommittee, to the minority and majority, and we go from there. But right now, what we asked for were the unredacted, complete files. At the end of the day, if someone has participated in child sex trafficking, I don't care if they're a prince or a president,
Amen.
or if they're anybody in between, they should be held accountable. They were just trying to make this a both sides thing to make up for the fact that they were being hypocrites, that they said that this is what they want. You saw it, right? We read off all of the members of the subcommittee who called very publicly for these files to be released. We saw that they ran on this in the last election, from Trump on down to all of his folks. They all ran on this. So they're just trying to distract from the fact that they're being hypocrites, that they know that they're choosing to protect Donald Trump over the very victims that they keep giving lip service to, that they're choosing to protect Donald Trump over transparency for the American people that they're calling for. They're very base.
A win is a win, y'all.
Different parties. And that's really what that was about.
Okay, now here is Lauren Boebert being a no-show. Play this clip.
He votes aye. Ms. Boebert.
She
Mr.
got
Jack.
scared,
Aye.
chicken out.
Mr. Jack votes aye.
By the way, here's what Senator Murkowski has to say about these files. Play this clip.
Speaker Mike Johnson is sending the House home, so they don't have to vote on it. So that sounds like you think they should just release everything.
Just be done with it. Be done with it. If in fact there's no there,
Oh, she finally
for the
speaking
president,
up. Oh, Lord.
get it out there. Just get it
Lisa
out there.
full of it. Don't listen to
Does
her.
it give you any pause with the
Lisa
reporting
is
tonight
fake.
that his name, he was told his name is included in it? That doesn't mean that he did anything wrong, but do you think that is a factor in why they have been hesitant to put more information
so
out there?
hard to determine what may or may not have been a factor, but I don't think it's any secret. Certainly the president has not made it a secret that
Girl, Donald Trump is keeping all kinds of secrets. You saw that love letter he wrote to Epstein for his birthday about their secrets. And she gonna say the president, it's not any secret with the president. Honey. Donald Trump don't want it out, girl. Come on now, Lisa. Come on, we're sick of you. You flip-flop, flip-flop, and flopping that bitch. Like Beyonce said, she just flip-flop all over the place. She's never consistent, y'all. She says she's gonna do right by her constituents. She doesn't. She doesn't care about the people, even in her state. Then she put it on Trump and said he betrayed her, everything that they agreed to, and she didn't get. They lied to her. What did you expect? You are a woman. They don't care about us. When are y'all gonna get it? It's at the point in life right now, they don't care that you are white. You're a woman and they don't like you. You can't trust them. It's that simple, girl. One moment, please. Everything I show you is fair use, educational purpose, and great for research. And great entertainment. One moment.
Part 2 of the Epstein Files drop from the DOJ tonight. I just went through the flight logs. So there's 7 different documents that DOJ posted, totaling around 118 pages. Right off the bat, whoever wrote these flight logs needs to work on their handwriting because it's extremely difficult to read. And whoever scanned
That's why Pam Bundy gave you that. She doesn't care.
Regardless, let's get into the people of note that I found. There were 2 different flights with President Bill Clinton. He took trips with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. One of the times he went to Morocco and then to Portugal, and then they flew back to New York. This was all in 2002, by the way, which is about a year after he finished up his presidency. Fast forward to 1994, President Trump, who was obviously not president at the time, flew with, I thought it looked like it was potentially with his kids, because I could see the name Tiffany, and then it also said Danny. So I can't confirm
That's
that.
not his kids, girl.
Also looks like the Mark Middleton guy was there. He's the lawyer who also served as the special counsel and assistant to President Bill Clinton in the White House during the 1990s. He actually allegedly killed himself in 2023. And on that trip, they flew from Palm Beach to DCA and from DCA to an airport in New Jersey. Another person of note that seemed to be on quite a few Epstein flights was Naomi Campbell. So Miss Georgia and runner-up for Miss USA. Her name was Erin Nance. She was on plenty of flights, and actually one of the flights that she was on was with Trump as well. Lawrence Summers, he was a former Harvard president. He was on plenty of flights. It also looked like, from my research, he had a close relationship with Epstein. And then there was plenty of names who were redacted. I'm really interested to know who these redacted names were, because if they're putting...
We're interested to know too, y'all. Hold on.
Who is actually...
Hold on one moment. Give me a moment. Yeah, we want to know too, girlfriend. So this is the young lady that was speaking, you know? So this is what she said. The lady that was on the flight with Trump, her name was Erin, okay? And she said Erin actually, one of the flights that she was on was with Trump as well. You see where it says that? That's what this young lady, this beautiful little queen said. And this is the flight log. This is one of them, because I showed you. I got a copy of another one too. His name is all over it. So this is Trump's name. I wish y'all can see it. Screenshot it. Pause the video and screenshot it. Trump was with somebody named Danny and Tiffany, and that was not his daughter. It was not. Remember that for reference. Remember that for reference, okay? Let's get back to business. Hold on. Just a moment. I got a lot to show y'all today. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show you everything today. I collect so much. Oh, why it ain't playing? Okay, there you go.
Bam! Welcome to Political Beatdown. I'm Ben Meiselas, joined by Michael Cohen. That's how I'm going to start. Bam! Because Donald Trump is getting a political beatdown right now as he tries to continue to cover up the Epstein files, and he's making it worse than it could ever possibly be. And
yeah, he's harming himself by trying to hide it,
obviously. And so today, as we're recording this, Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's Department of Justice #2. His former criminal defense lawyer, Todd Blanch,
hit the like button, please,
Florida, to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. For those on audio, we're showing our YouTube viewers the photo of Todd Blanch, the Deputy Attorney General, planning to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. That meeting is taking place. Ghislaine Maxwell is represented by a lawyer named David Oscar Marcus, a lawyer from Florida. I had heard rumors, actually, that this David Oscar Marcus guy, from people in the legal community there, was actually asked to be one of Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyers, and he was very close, and is very close, to Todd Blanch, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney. And I don't know if you know this, Ben. I'm going to give you a little insight. How about the guy Marcus has a podcast, and that Todd Blanch has been on that podcast
no less than 2 times.
How about this, Michael Cohen? Play the freaking tape, Jeremy.
Okay, I want to welcome Todd Blanch to For the Defense. Everybody knows who Todd is, and he's the first guest on For the Defense to appear twice. So welcome to the show, Todd.
That is an honor. Thank you very much, David. I really appreciate it.
So, I mean, you were a federal prosecutor. I'm sure you never could have imagined this when you were first starting out as an assistant United States attorney. How did you get here, Todd? How did you end up representing Donald Trump and being in trial in the first of its kind case?
Well, there you have it.
It seems a little bit more boring than
I don't know. They seem to be awfully friendly, don't they?
But Cohen, I want to get into this meeting, but to me, when we look at Donald Trump's polling from Gallup today, which has him about 37%, and in many other areas, he's like 29%. What we just showed people there is what people freaking hate. These secret groups of lawyers and rich people who are chummy with each other, doing stuff behind our backs, shady stuff, cutting deals that screw we the people, and then saying, nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
That's exactly how
You know,
they
and I
treat
think
us
that's
American
why
people.
A show like this, and why a network like Midas Touch is able
Subscribe to
resonate
Midas
with
Touch
because,
Network.
you know, we
Fair
pull it
use,
out. Look,
educational
Michael
purpose.
Cohen was in
Great
solitary
research.
confinement for damn near 60 freaking days, close to it. It probably felt like eternity for him because the Trump regime threw him in prison because he wouldn't sign away his rights to tell his story and to speak publicly and exercise his First Amendment rights. And Cohen sat at Donald Trump's criminal defense trial. Cohen sat at the other trials involving Donald Trump. But Todd Blanch, who we just showed you right there, cross-examined Cohen. Cohen was face-to-face with that Blanch guy when he was Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer. What was the first question that he asked?
I'm going to speed this up, y'all, because I have too much to show y'all.
First, though, Cohen, that...
Hold on.
Then with 30 females of indeterminate age at Mar-a-Lago, I mean, I truly asked, you know, what do we think was going down? Like could we use basic logic? What do we think was happening there? Were they like, patty cake? What do you think was happening?
That's when they had those young girls at Mar-a-Lago.
When we see what I showed everybody at the beginning, and let's show it one more time because we got a big audience back. You know, these two people, Todd Blanch, Donald Trump's DOJ #2 former criminal defense lawyer, and David Marcus, Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, who were like best buds previously on podcasts. Oh, you're so good. You're so good. We're like, you're covering shit up right now, and we don't like that. And that permeates everything, in my view, with this Trump regime. Just a reminder, here's that depo for people who haven't seen it, who are just joining now. Let's play it.
Okay, I want to welcome Todd Blanch to For the Defense.
I'm going to speed that up because I watched this earlier and it's stuff that we ain't interested in. We need to hurry up.
I mean, that's more commitment than most politicians give their constituents.
Y'all, I'm going to go on to the next video. I love them, but today I have so much to show y'all. I don't have a minute to waste. I just don't. So this is your cabinet, Trump. Your pick for Attorney General, our AG of America. This is a bad choice. I'm going to show y'all why I say this.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Okay. I got more. Because she run her mouth too much. That Pam Bundy that used to be attractive before she got involved up there in that Oval Office with Trump. She has aged terribly. Everybody that affiliates with Trump, they either clunk over, unalive, or their lives are ruined and they look old as Methuselah. When they went in there attractive, they come out of the ugly. So One moment. Pam Bundy says the FBI has tens of thousands of videos. Remember this.
And she confirms that the FBI has tens of thousands of Epstein videos with kids doing God knows what. Is this the clip right here, Robbie? Can we play this one?
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of
Hit the like button,
with
please.
children
Thank you.
or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going
To have
through that.
victims, you got to have Johns, don't you?
Pam Bondi comes
To
up
have
with some
victims, you have to have Johns. If not, Ghislaine Maxwell will not be locked up. And they ain't going to let her out too soon unless, Donnie do pardon her. That's what they're working on now. But I want to know what's been said in that meeting today, y'all. So, America, we don't want this BS in our states. These are the red states by the MAGA Republicans. Well, I'm going to get to that later. That's something else. If I have to show that tomorrow, because we got to get to the goods. We don't have a lot of time. I was going to show you something about the red states. We'll do that later. But it's something connected to this a little bit. So the corruption at its best. Donald Trump would do anything to save his own rotten behind.
The meeting is taking place right now between Donald Trump's Department of Justice and Ghislaine Maxwell at the federal courthouse at the United States Attorney's Office there in Tallahassee, Florida. Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, Todd Blanch, who Donald Trump has appointed to be the #2 at the Department of Justice, will be the one leading these meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell.
It's
you can
today,
see him
you
right there
guys.
with a group of other DOJ lawyers. He'll be meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, a guy by the name of David Oscar Marcus. Now, Todd Blanch, Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, who's now the #2 at the DOJ,
I don't think we can
is very
trust him.
close friends with David Oscar Marcus, Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer. Now, in the Wall Street Journal article,
Which you remember that man is found unalive. Epstein's attorney was found unalive yesterday in his home.
The Epstein Files that have not been released. David Oscar Marcus confirmed his discussions with the Department of Justice with Todd Blanch, by the way, one of his close friends, and said, "We are grateful to President Trump for his commitment to uncovering the truth in this case." Maxwell has been
Donald
seeking
Trump
to have
doesn't
her
know the
conviction
truth.
overturned, contending she didn't receive a fair trial. Also, one of the rumors, but on good sourcing that I've heard from people in the legal community, is that Donald Trump actually wanted this guy, David Oscar Marcus, to be Donald Trump's lawyer. They never formally worked out the deal in connection with the criminal cases against Donald Trump when he was not in office. Now, it should be noted as well that the House of Representatives subpoenaed Ghislaine Maxwell to have her deposition taken on August 11th. So Donald Trump ordered his Department of Justice, his former criminal defense attorney, Todd Blanch, immediately go see Ghislaine Maxwell right away. Hear what she has
pulling
to
stunts
say
again.
before that deposition
Trump is a
takes
stunt
place with
man.
the House of Representatives. Now, it seems obvious to me that Ghislaine Maxwell is expecting some sort of deal to be offered to her by Donald Trump right now, whether in the form of a pardon, a retrial, a commutation, something like that. Just so you see how chummy Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer turned #2 at the Department of Justice is with this guy, David Oscar Marcus. Here they are together on Marcus's podcast.
Okay, I want to welcome Todd Blanch to For the Defense.
We saw
Everybody
that
knows
earlier.
Todd
We're
is.
not going to watch that. We got to move along. I got a lot to show you. What is happening in America today, and ever since the Orange Man arrived in the Oval Office, the truth is illegal in this country. So when you tell the truth, Donald Trump will try to punish you. He lived in lies. He lived in untruths because that's who he is. And anyone who attached themselves to Trump, their lives are ruined. Death became him. And I'm going to show you who I'm talking about.
Breaking news right now, Hulk Hogan has died at the age of 71 years old, according to new reporting from TMZ Sports. Now, according to TMZ reporting, Hogan went into cardiac arrest. Authorities responded to his home in Clearwater, Florida today. he was pronounced dead. Now, we don't really have much more information about the surrounding nature of his death, what happened, or really anything else other than this. It's a very preliminary report right now. He was 71 years old when he passed away. Hogan is the WWE famous wrestler, for those of you who don't know who Hulk Hogan is. But also, Hogan was not without his controversies, and there were many people around the world who
he doesn't like black
fan
people.
of Hogan. But he has passed away, and that has now been confirmed by TMZ. I'll wait to get more information. I'll provide you updates throughout the day. So
Subscribe to Aaron Partners on YouTube and follow him on Instagram. He's good at what he does. I love to watch his channel. So Trump team is letting Ghislaine Maxwell, they're meeting with her today, which you saw that being discussed. They will offer her something for her testimony. Some kind of deal, but not sure what. Reduced sentence, pardon, or whatever nasty Donnie has to offer her to keep quiet. But she's afraid they will unalive her. And that's the truth. So we're going to go to where South Park, they tore Donnie a new one. The part where Donnie wanted happy time with Satan and Satan wasn't interested in it because it was too small. That cracked me up. Did y'all not see South Park? Donnie's little man down there was just too little, and the devil was not even interested in it. Hold on.
some huge news.
Uh-oh, it froze. Give it a moment.
Overnight, South Park went scorched earth against Donald Trump and Paramount and media censorship in one of the most openly defiant acts against its own bosses in media history, because South Park just days ago signed a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount. And last night it went on air and mocked the very program, the very network that it signed a deal with. If you didn't watch it, South Park essentially featured Trump in bed with Satan, deepfake nudity, and commentary on lawsuits, show cancellations, and the Epstein Files. The showrunners spent a significant portion of the show talking about media censorship, blasting Paramount, blasting the current president, even though South Park just signed this massive deal with Paramount. Now, Donald Trump's not going to be happy. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Truth Social post at some point this morning. But this type of open media defiance is what we need in a time where major media companies are caving to this White House. Spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about. We have some huge news.
Spread the word and follow all the news. You know it's bad if the devil don't want it, Donnie. That's why Melania ain't there. I'm going to tell you something about a woman. You can have all the money you want to have, and you can have it. But it's bad enough you smell, Donnie. It's bad enough it's small. It's bad enough your IQ is 73. But it's bad when the devil, Satan, don't even want your ping neither. Jesus.
The main issue that people need to focus on is the schizophrenic approach of the Trump administration to this issue. On the one hand, they are saying we want to be as transparent as possible. And on the other hand, they're saying we're not releasing anything. So they, on the transparency part, they say we want to be transparent and we're going to go to court and we're going to ask judges to release grand jury transcripts. They know that the law on that issue is dead set against them, so they can blame the courts when they say no. It's also in grand jury transcripts, the actual proceedings in the grand jury are the area where it's least likely that Donald Trump's name appears. By contrast, the part where they're not turning anything over is all of the voluminous investigative material, which the Wall Street Journal now is reporting, something that we sort of assumed had to be true, but now the reporting is it is true, which is that material has Donald Trump's name in it. And of course, that shouldn't be surprising because there's so much reporting that the two of them knew each other and socialized with each other. It doesn't mean that Donald Trump committed a crime, but his reaction to this is the thing that's probably the most telling, because it certainly is, he protests too much. But that material, and this is sort of the take home, I think, for everyone, and when I think about this, is that material, the voluminous investigative material that the Department of Justice has, that can be turned over right now, today, this minute. There is no grand jury requirement that you go to court to turn that over. So here, if the Department of Justice and the Trump administration is saying that we want to be transparent, that is information
don't
that
want
they
to be
don't need to go to the
transparent.
court and turn over. We just saw them do that in the Martin Luther King Jr. files,
Yep.
turning that over. So you really are seeing this
And we didn't
continuation
ask
of a
for the Martin Luther
schizophrenic
King Jr.
approach, and the
file.
Wall Street Journal reporting
We want the
gives you
Epstein
certainly a
Files.
motive for why they are sort of on the one hand saying we're going to go to court, and the other hand saying the stuff that's most likely.
He made a valuable point, y'all. He just said they went out of the way to show us the Martin Luther King files, and they didn't have to go to court for that. So now they're telling the American people, well, we got to go to court to see if we can release these files. No, they don't. The devil's a lie. No, they don't. Pam Bundy, stop lying. Donald J. Trump, stop lying. That's your specialty, lying, because you're a compulsive liar. Let the lying cease, you ugly beast. Stop it. Okay, so y'all, why this doesn't surprise me, let me show you what I'm talking about. The Trump administration moves to block law that requires priests to report child sexual abuse. Let me say it to you again, but let me show you first, and I'm going to read it to you again. Donnie is not a good man. Donald Trump administration moves to block law that requires priests to report child sexual abuse. All right, I'm going to read to you what it says. They're not about protecting children. They're not. The law does not force priests to verify in court, turn over notes, or validate attorney-client privilege, violate attorney-client privileges. What it does is narrow but consequential. If clergy learn about child abuse, even during confessions, they have to they have to notify authorities within 48 hours. By filing a formal complaint, the Department of Justice is effectively teaming up with Washington's Catholic bishops to overturn the state's mandatory reporting law, in one of the most egregious federal moves to back authorized religion in recent memory. So, Donnie, you found it fair to block the law that protects children that's under the priest? So it's okay that the priests actually abuse our beautiful children in this country. And why do y'all think that Donnie finds that okay? Why do y'all think the MAGA Republican Party find it okay? Because that's his administration. They're MAGA Republican. It's disgusting. It's sickening.
Check this out. Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump? What do you mean by personal relationships? Have you socialized with him? Yes, sir. Yes? Yes, sir. Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment right, sir.
You've got to check this out. Have you ever had a personal
So you're going to enforce your 4th, 5th, what is it, 5th and 6th, 14th Amendment? Why can't you just say yes or no? Did Donnie hang out with you with the young girls? It's simple, yes or no. He didn't want to answer that because he would have given his buddy up. Is that his bromance, a Brokeback Mountain buddy? One or the other. But we know what's going on.
I just finished doing a video about how awful Trump's polling is for his first 6 months, and now new polling has come out, and it makes that polling look good. Watch this.
The president says things are great. What do the voters say? No. I think it's the answer.
Even his own voters say no.
Gravity absolutely apply to Donald Trump, and the USS Donald Trump is taking on a lot of water. What are we talking about? Trump's net approval rating. Look, he started off back in January +6 points on the net approval rating. -3 in March, -7 in May.
Because of these files, it's going to get worse, Donnie.
At
The Epstein Files will continue to drop.
In the aggregate since the beginning of his presidency, the American people do not like what they're seeing, and Donald Trump's administration is in a ton of trouble at this point in the minds of the American voters.
Well, on what issues do the American voters seem to disapprove of him?
They disapprove of him on all of the issues. He's underwater on all the major issues of the day. Trump's net approval rating on all the major issues, minus 5 points on immigration, his best issue. He's
You
underwater.
see,
How about the economy?
Epstein Files, negative 37. I gotta hurry up, y'all. Sorry. One moment, please. Hit the like button, beautiful people.
Are congressional Republicans doing? Nothing. In fact, it's even worse than that. They are actually ending this week early because they're afraid to cast votes on the Jeffrey Epstein issue. The Rules Committee is not meeting because they're afraid to cast votes to release the Epstein files. So you've got this Epstein issue affecting congressional operations.
Come on, give me some likes, y'all. Hit the like button, please.
Don't work on trying to lower costs. So this is an epic cover-up, right? This is a cover-up of epic proportions where you've got the majority party literally having us leave Congress early and not having the Rules Committee meet because they don't want to deal with releasing the Epstein files.
But what does Summer Lee say? Oh, they tried it. Oh, he telling the truth about what he's saying. They tried it, but Summer Lee said, wait a minute, I got something for you. No, we're going to do this now. She wasn't playing. And that black woman got it done. Please listen carefully to Khadijah. She's on YouTube. I watch her channel and I love her channel. And her views on Epstein about being unalive. Listen carefully to this. One moment, please.
Okay, I've been going over some of the Jeffrey Epstein files that we do have in our possession, and I want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein passing away because I truly don't believe that he lost.
Somebody had him on a live, and only benefited the person that was in the White House at that time. And it wasn't President Joe Biden, and it wasn't President Barack Obama.
About this that just don't really make sense to me. So let's get
this
into
is
it.
photos from Epstein's jail, prison
they were
cell.
having a lot of backlash of people believing that Jeffrey Epstein was actually unalived by somebody in his jail cell, and that it wasn't him taking his own life.
It
The
wasn't. I don't
DOJ
believe so,
alleged
in
that
my
at
opinion.
approximately 6:30 a.m. on August 10th of 2019, the prison staff unlocked the door to the tier in the prison where Epstein's cell was located. We're delivering breakfast to the inmates through food slots that were on their locked cell doors because in this dorm, they were locked down 23 hours a day. It claimed that the prison staff knocked on Epstein's cell and Epstein didn't respond. So the staff unlocked the door and they found Epstein hanged in his cell with one of the end pieces of an orange cloth
Wait till you see
around
the
his
photos.
neck and the other one tied to the top of
It
a
doesn't
portion
make
of
sense.
the bunk bed in Epstein's cell. Epstein was suspended from the top of the bunk in a near seated position with his buttocks approximately 1 inch to 1.5 inches off the floor and his legs in an extended straight out position in front of him. They're saying that Jeffrey Epstein was hanging from this top part
Thank
of
you,
the bunk
King
bed,
Stephen.
but his butt was only 1 inch or 1.5 inches off the floor. That positioning
Thank
is
you,
really
King
one of the first
Ramon.
things that starts drawing my attention.
Thank
to
you
this.
so
Because
much.
with his buttocks only being 1 inch or 1.5 inches off the floor and his legs being that close, if you are hanging from a low position like this, your automatic reflex when not being able to breathe would be to push your legs up and stand up. And that's why people usually
That's the photo from his prison cell.
where their feet cannot touch the floor. There's a lot more, so let's keep going. They claimed the staff immediately activated a body alarm, which notified all MCC New York staff of a medical emergency. It says staff then ripped the orange cloth away from the bunk bed, which caused Epstein's buttocks to fall to the ground. This is one of the many things that Epstein's lawyers and his family brought up because they had their own medical
This is the orange
investigation
cloth.
into Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein's passing. Say it was very odd because the ropes that Jeffrey Epstein had, none of them were really ripped on either end. The medical examiner brings up is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein had 3 broken bones in the neck that wasn't really consistent with taking your own self out.
3 broken bones sound like somebody beat him up. 3 broken bones.
And I did see the photo of that, but I can't show it here, but you can go Google it and see that. And there was none of that coming off onto this piece of fabric. Now, on top of this, Jeffrey Epstein left a very weird note in his cell, and it was talking about a guard keeping him locked in a shower seam for 1 hour, saying that they gave him burnt food, and there's giant bugs that were crawling over his hand. No fun. 2 weeks after Jeffrey Epstein passed away, they had a court hearing to drop the indictment against Jeffrey Epstein because he passed away. During this court hearing, Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers were telling the judge all of this really weird information that they believe that they found about Jeffrey Epstein allegedly offing himself, and that they wanted the judge to basically look into because they don't believe that he offed himself. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer said that they had a doctor there at the time that Jeffrey Epstein was
Hit the like button, please. Thank you.
Also have been in receipt of a tremendous amount of medical and scientific evidence volunteered to them, opinioning that the injuries he suffered as reported were far more consistent with assault rather than offing himself. Said that they were happy to supply the court with all the information that they have. Said one of the biggest issues they had were the video surveillance tapes, which just recently got released. To mind you, had that whole over a minute missing from that 12 hours of video footage. Lawyers basically wanted to say if there was videotape to show the door directly outside where Jeffrey Epstein was housed, and it reports for 12 hours that no one went in or out of that room, then they would believe, okay, it would have to be him unaliving himself. But during this time, they said that there was no such evidence that has surfaced to the date, just the opposite. We have heard and we actually read in the press that the tapes were either corrupted or not functioning properly.
That's true.
The system was broken for 6 months before Jeffrey Epstein was housed. I mean, that would be a stunning incompetence. They said that they had an independent doctor who was present at the autopsy, which occurred on...
We're not going to watch all of this. The point is, and I too believe that if he is actually unalive, I do not believe he did this to himself. I don't. I don't believe he did it to himself. No one can convince me that he did. I believe if he is not with us today, that somebody that may be a Republican or a Republican leader had this man unalive. That is my opinion. I am entitled to my opinion.
Won't release the photos because the Johns are in the photos. Pam Bondi and Mike Johnson both said this week that they can't release anything from the Epstein documents because they have to protect the innocent. They never said the children. They won't release the photos because the men are in the photos. The men are in the photos. The Johns, the abusers, are in the photos and the videos. Epstein was like Diddy. He had blackmail on these people to ensure that they never turned on him. This is the evidence list that they have for the Epstein case.
I believe it was homicide too, Alan.
But it does give you the contents of the boxes. I have published this for free on my Substack. This is a partial list of all of the evidence that Pam Bondi has access to right now.
When you get a chance, go back and screenshot stuff from the video.
Appears several times within the evidence. We also know that the Johns are in the photos. When Virginia Giuffre and other victims who had come forward to tell their story participated in the investigation into Ghislaine Maxwell, they had to go through books full of photos and identify for the FBI and local police if it was their body in the picture with the John. Jeffrey Epstein took photos and videos of the women and children he trafficked to his friends, both to hold those photos and videos over the victims' heads.
Hit the like button, people. Thank you.
That is why she will not release the pictures and videos. But no, Donald Trump
you
wants you to just
Donnie,
watch.
were you in the photos, baby? Inquiring minds want to know. Donnie, are you in those photos? Come on, tell me. I know you probably were. Are you in the photos, Donnie? Mm-mm.
Breaking news. I can't believe what I'm hearing. So apparently, Epstein's lawyer has been found dead in his home. Yes, dead as a doornail. At the same time, when Trump is saying, oh, there's no Epstein files, Epstein didn't commit suicide. Can we stop talking about Epstein?
He may know he didn't commit suicide if something else was done to him. Homicide.
Why would he have committed suicide? Why would he have been murdered? I don't know the circumstances of his death. I would not be surprised if they turn around and they say, oh, he had a heart attack. Oh, he accidentally fell down the stairs. But open your eyes, people. This is absolutely not an accident. Trump is under the spotlight because he is complicit with a man that was trafficking children and women. And Trump is connected, and he is trying to bury the evidence, and he is trying to distract you with ICE. Now, understand this. The world needs to realize that we have a predator in charge of America.
A predator in the
and
Oval
he
Office.
is killing off anyone that can speak out against him.
That's her opinion.
Shocking news. Breaking news. I can't believe
That's
what
her
I'm hearing.
opinion at the end part. So don't y'all go around saying I said that. That's her opinion. She is entitled to it. So Trump is this. To me, I look at him as being a despicable boy because he carry on like a 2-year-old.
Put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it.
This is what he think of
when
women.
The guns are trained on her face.
Okay. You went on to then launch an investigation to find out if you could prosecute that as a
death threat.
And y'all voted that man in anyway.
I did, and I was criticized.
This queen deserves better.
For saying that I thought that we should at least look at it as a death threat because you look at what he just said,
right?
Which was extremely violent and at a minimum horrific for any political leader to use that kind of language. And remember, as you know, that was right before the election,
right? So this is right before the November 2024 election.
Right before the November 2024 election, Liz Cheney was out there talking about the need to preserve democracy, supporting Kamala Harris, and he comes to Arizona and says those things as if he doesn't know what he's saying. And so I said, yeah, I think that I asked my criminal division chief to take a look at whether that constituted a death threat or a violation of any statute in Arizona. Because one of the things that, as the Attorney General of Arizona,
Donald Trump threatens a woman, and MAGA didn't find anything wrong with it. And that explains to me why the MAGA clear men don't find anything wrong with the Epstein situation. London Bridge is falling down. And this right here is exactly what I'm talking about. Clear people privilege, and this is dangerous.
In 1974, Jeffrey Epstein started working as a science and mathematics teacher for the Dalton School. The thing is, Jeffrey Epstein dropped out of school himself, so therefore he didn't have a degree to actually teach at this school. And obviously he had a connection to get him in. Donald Barr was the headmaster at the Dalton School and he retired 3 months before Jeffrey Epstein was hired. A year prior, in 1973, Barr published a book called Space Relations, which is a science fiction novel about a planet ruled by oligarchs who engage in child sex slavery.
Hit the like button, please. Thank you.
The novel anticipates the crimes of Epstein and Maxwell. And you can literally still find the book on Amazon today. If you go and read about the history of Donald Barr, you'll see that the man was extremely smart. And you'll also recognize that he was an OSS agent during World War II. He's the father of William Barr, who was the Attorney General for George H.W. Bush.
William Barr covered for Donald Trump a lot with his crimes.
Catholic Scientists. And in 1983, President Ronald Reagan nominated Donald Barr to be a member of the National Council
All
on
Republican men,
so you can see all
evil
these people go
Republican
way
men.
back. And in some way, shape, or form, they're all tied to Epstein.
So many people that y'all thought was great. I thought Bill Clinton was great myself. And I thought he was rather handsome, but I do prefer my dark meat. If I got to choose dark meat, that's what it is. But Bill Clinton has always been, even in his old age, a handsome man. But if you touch children, Bill, you deserve to go away too. Just a moment. Also, I want y'all to never forget the Republicans that voted to protect pedos. I'm going to show you who they are. These are the people voted to protect pedos. PDF files. You know what I mean. They are so afraid of Donnie that they voted against the better good of children and women.
Massive breaking news to report here. We have the list. We've got the list that implicates Donald Trump, and I'm going to show it to you right now. As you can see, there's over 24 names on this list here. Some of the names you probably recognize. Oh, sorry. No, this isn't the Epstein client list. No. This is the list of all of the people who have credibly accused Donald Trump of sexual abuse over the years. I'd like to reiterate that there's more than 24 names on this
Eugene
list.
Carroll took him to the
ones
bank.
that are in bold here, those are the ones where the victim was underage at the time. Some of them as young as 13 years old. And the ones with the asterisk next to them, those are cases where Jeffrey Epstein was directly involved. Yeah, this list has been public knowledge for years. And yet there are still
That's how I
millions
got
of
to
people
show you
in
the
this
court
country
cases.
who knew about all this and still voted for that serial pervert and predator 3 times. And they found excuses to deny, rationalize, or justify every single one of them. I heard somebody say just today that the Epstein client list wouldn't really matter if we just believed women.
We're not going to play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off.
Time to burn them up, MAGA. Time to let them go, MAGA. Let them go, MAGA.
This is a great representation.
They lit.
We've got massive breaking news to report here.
Donald Trump is losing the very few celebrities that support him. Now, I use the term celebrity very loosely with these individuals. They're mostly washed up has-beens. However, they have supported Trump and have been the very few in Hollywood that have. But no more because of the Epstein Files. Here are 5 celebrities speaking out against Trump. First, we have Roseanne Barr. She tweeted at Trump to read the room. Rob Schneider has also spoken out against him. In an interview, Schneider used the term Trump derangement syndrome when referring to people who would continue to follow him if he doesn't release the files. We also have Candace Owens. Candace Owens tweeted that it's flat out embarrassing when he blamed Obama. Then we have Alex Jones. Out of all people,
Alex
Jones said it was sickening. And then we have Kevin Sorbo. He called for the Attorney General to step down. The sharks are circling, and we love to see it. Donald Trump is losing.
Hey, what he said? The sharks are circling. I'm one of them, and we love to hear it. Yes, we love it. I got more for you. I know time is limited, but I got to show you. And I was gonna wait and try to show you this tomorrow. But I gotta get it because if I go to it tomorrow, I may not be able to show you tomorrow. Hold on.
So, you mean to tell me that Uncle Luke, the frontman of 2 Live Crew, said that he was invited to a Donald Trump party and it was so inappropriate he had to leave? Now, Midas Touch is reporting that a video has resurfaced on YouTube of an interview of Uncle Luke, otherwise known as Luther Campbell, on an old Kevin Kline radio show. And on the interview, Uncle Luke is saying that he went to this wild and outrageous party that Donald Trump threw, and that it was too outrageous for him. He felt uncomfortable to talk about it on the radio. Now, if you don't know who 2 Live Crew is, they are a band, a rap group that came out in the 80s and the 90s, and they had a album named As Nasty as They Wanna Be. It was the first album that was ever declared
that album describes Trump
here
nasty.
in the United States. If 2 Live Crew is still not ringing a bell, you might remember this song called Oh Me So Corny. You can look it up. But their album,
She's right.
And so Uncle Luke tells us during this radio interview on
And
the
I'm
Kevin
going to
Kline
play
show
that for you.
he was invited to Donald Trump's party and that there were girls there and they were having a good time. They were enjoying themselves, but he's not quite sure that they were age appropriate. It made him feel uncomfortable and it made him want to leave. You guys can look it up on YouTube. It's the Kevin Kline radio show. It's an interview from, I think, 2016. And they talk about how inappropriate Donald Trump's party was. Now, I'm going to link the interview in the caption of this video. And
Hold
I
on.
implore you guys to go.
There we go. Here we go.
If the man took us around the house,
Donald Trump.
okay, he said, look, I got all these women. I got these women from the pageant.
That's what she was talking about. The lady was just talking about this.
Like, hey, man, I got a pageant down here. I'm hosting these women at the house. Okay, up in Palm Beach, they had some cars to pick us up. We get in the cars. We drive up there. Me, Mike, Eddie Murphy, we all in our own.
Mike Tyson, Eddie Murphy.
Car service drove us up there. We got there. He showed us around the house. You know, told us about this mansion and the history behind it and all that. This the golf course. It was dark. We couldn't see the golf course and things like that. And then, before you know it, hey, man, y'all enjoy yourself. We got cocktails and everything. And before you know it, the rooms and everything started popping. There wasn't no DJ. It was more of, hey, get in where you fit in. Whatever room you going to go in, you go into that room.
Different rooms, y'all.
There was no music? When the music was right there, no music. No music. That was the interesting part about it. There wasn't no music. So women just naked in rooms with no music. Hey, people walk around.
That reminds me of ex-trafficking. Different rooms.
It wasn't no room there. I was happy to be at that party. But then, at the end of the day, when I started looking at so many girls' faces, I was like, man, these girls don't look like they're old enough. I didn't like nobody their age. And then all the other stuff going on. You know, it was like, okay, I can't be up there. I gotta go.
Uncle Luke got out of there. Donnie, I don't know how you're going to dig yourself out of this hole, but I hope you don't. You need to take accountability. You have slid by in life, doing so much devilment and harm to people and children, Donnie. God is going to make you repent. But I forgot, Donnie is a reprobated mind. God doesn't hear reprobated mind prayers. Well, honey, Satan is there to collect. And on South Park, they showed us you was in the bed with Satan and he turned you down. That sounds like Melania Trump, honey. One moment, please. One moment.
It's not Epstein list, it's the Trump list. We need to stop calling it the Epstein list. I don't think it was his list. I think he was an employee. I think he was.
This is her opinion.
Used as a means to an end, and I think that it was actually Trump's list. And I am glad it's kind of more commonplace that people are talking about it more. I
hit the like button.
Tag it in here on July 9th. I said the same thing. Is that he was not a client. He's not a random person. One of,
I love getting the opinions of other people as well.
He was the one who was pulling the strings. He was the one who was orchestrating the ring to get the blackmail and get the information that he could use against people. It's the whole reason he ran for president, is to protect himself. It's the entire reason that he rose to power, is he was using blackmail to control people so he can get into a place where he could control that information, get rid of the guy who could talk, put the other person who could talk behind bars, and get that information. And I guarantee that those files were in his bathroom in Mar-a-Lago or somewhere else. I honestly believe when the FBI raided his house to get the files, that was part of what they were looking for. Why wouldn't he take
I believe so too. I stated that to you guys, that those files that he had stolen and took them with him when he left the office, when he got kicked out and Biden actually won. I believe so too. I believe this young lady. I do. Yes, I do.
Not going to talk about what just happened in Alabama. We might as well talk
Red
about it because
state.
it's not even on CNN,
Red
or Fox
state.
News, or anything. Police there found a bunker
Republican,
in a house
MAGA
where
Republicans.
multiple children were being held. The youngest was 3 years old. 4 men have been arrested. These kids were AR'd, they were drugged, they were beaten, they were trafficked, they were sold off to clients to do horrible things to them. We already as a nation knew there was crazy stuff going on in Alabama, but this is the icing on the cake.
Alabama is a
It's
red state,
disgusting
Republican,
how
MAGA.
little they're even talking about this. Well, stuff like this, every time I want to get a little bit compassionate towards humanity, stuff like this happens. And you know what? It just sends me the complete other way, because I'm all for capital punishment. I don't believe all lives matter, because guess what? Those 4 dudes, their lives definitely don't matter, because what they did to those children is so disgusting that
They was
deserve to put
ex-trafficking
into
them.
some sort of arena where the public's allowed to go there and do whatever the heck they want to them. Capital punishment isn't enough for these people. They need to suffer before we put them to sleep.
I second that. I second that. I agree wholeheartedly with him. Yes, I do. Hold on. Hold on. Don't go nowhere.
This is where authorities say 6 children, the youngest only 3 years old, were victimized repeatedly over more than a year. It's an underground storm shelter near the home of William Chase McElroy, one of the men charged with raping and
That's what he was
sodomizing
talking
the
about.
children, as well as kidnapping and human trafficking.
Inside the storm shelter, there were chairs and beds and things of that nature.
This is the kind of stuff that Jeffrey Epstein and allegedly Trump would be involved in.
To a pole. And then people would come and pay
Allegedly.
money to have sex with these children.
Assistant District Attorney Brian Jones says there could be more victims and more alleged perpetrators. He says the grand jury has indicted a 4th person, but he can't release that name because that person hasn't been arrested yet. But he says we may never know the full extent of the horrors that happened here.
There are some allegations with individuals that we will have a hard time identifying just because we don't know their names. And the children were drugged, according to one of the co-defendants, and so they may not be able to recognize or be able to identify anyone.
Jones says many of these details came from some of the defendants themselves. This has been a tough case for investigators and prosecutors, one they've been looking into since the first of the year.
See, this is big. This is happening real bad in the red states. What they do to nasty to kids, yeah, real bad. I don't trust none of those MAGA Republicans. Not one of them. All right. I don't trust them at all.
They won't release the photos because the Johns are in the photos. Pam Bondi and Mike Johnson both said this week that they can't release anything from the Epstein documents because they have to protect the innocent. They never said the children. They won't release the photos because the men are in the photos. The men are in the photos. The Johns, the abusers, are in the
She's
photos.
showing the files behind her.
Like Diddy. He had blackmail on these people to ensure that they never turned on him. This is the evidence list that they have for the Epstein case. It doesn't give you the pictures or
The
videos,
evidence
but it
list
does
is
give you the
behind her.
contents of the boxes. I have published this for free on my Substack. This is a partial list of all of the evidence that Pam Bondi has access to right now. She had a meeting with Trump back in May and told him that his name appears several times within the evidence. We also know that the Johns are in the photos. When Virginia Jeffrey and other victims.
So when you go look at those photos of Dunny, look at the men that's in the photos as well. Remember that. Fix it, Jesus. The devil is
My name is
busy.
Amy Doris. In 1997, I attended the U.S. Open. We went to Donald Trump's VIP box. I went into the bathroom. When I came out, Trump was standing there. He was not waiting to go to the bathroom. He was waiting for me. He kind of grabbed me and tried to kiss me. He was touching me all over my body.
Donald
I pushed
Trump.
him away. I could not move. He just shoved his tongue in my mouth, started kissing me. It was just
Forced
so
himself
forceful.
on her.
It was not pleasant. It was not welcomed. It was not consensual. I literally used my teeth to push his tongue out of my mouth. It was violating and it was traumatic. I thought it was my fault. Seeing the Access Hollywood video made me realize that Donald Trump is a serial sexual predator. He says he's going to protect women. He harms women. He has no respect for women. It is a danger to our society to put this man back in the White
I told y'all Donald Trump is dangerous.
When will this stop?
Anti-Psychopath Pack Inc. is responsible for the content of this app.
Only way it's gonna stop, they put him out of that Oval Office and lock him up. Lock him up. He's dangerous. I've been telling y'all that about Donald Trump.
One of Jeffrey Epstein's most powerful lawyers has just been found dead, and there are chilling new details. But before we get into
hit the like button, please. Thank you.
Like, comment, and share. We really appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Roy Black, one of Jeffrey Epstein's key criminal defense attorneys, is dead.
Thank you.
The timing of his death has raised serious questions, especially given the renewed pressure on Epstein's network and the explosive legal movements now underway. Let me explain. Roy Black was an ordinary attorney. He was a legal giant who defended some of the biggest names in America. Not just Epstein, but William Kennedy Smith, Justin Bieber, Rush Limbaugh, and of course, we are talking about Jeffrey Epstein. In 2008, Black helped negotiate the infamous non-prosecution agreement that
hit the like button, please, everybody.
What should have been federal sex trafficking
Thank
charges.
you.
Instead, Epstein got a slap on the wrist, state-level misdemeanor charges, and a sweetheart.
Make sure your like counts.
That agreement and Black's role in
because you can hit like and it unlike.
Has been under scrutiny ever since. In fact, a federal judge ruled that he violated the Criminal Victims' Rights Act by failing to even inform Epstein's victims before cutting that deal. In short, Roy Black knew where the bodies were buried. If anyone had knowledge about Epstein's powerful friends or the legal cover-up surrounding them, it was him. His death, confirmed by his wife Leah Black and his colleagues, was reportedly due to an undisclosed illness.
They found him dead in his home.
Florida. His law partner called him the greatest criminal lawyer of our generation. Now, no foul play has been
that was
officially
Epstein's
alleged,
attorney.
but the timing is impossible to ignore. Here is why. This comes just as the Epstein case is surging back into the headlines. The Trump DOJ is pushing to unseal grand jury documents tied to both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell herself is reportedly in direct talks with the DOJ,
and she's afraid of Trump.
Todd Blanch about testifying. The House Oversight Committee just voted to subpoena Maxwell with plans to depose her behind closed doors. And now, her brother says Ghislaine is at great risk in prison and believes Epstein may have been murdered, not suicidal.
I agree.
Right, Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted sex trafficker who knows the full scope of Epstein's black book, fears for her safety and believes Epstein was silenced. And now the lawyer who helped protect Epstein's secrets and negotiated the plea deal that kept him buried is gone. Yes, Roy Black was 80 years old, and people die. But when powerful players start lining up to talk and others start dropping, it raises eyebrows. Let's not forget what happened to one of Epstein's victims, Virginia Giuffre. She said online multiple times that she was not suicidal. She was not going to kill herself, and that if she died under mysterious circumstances, well, we all know what happened. She got in an accident months before she finally died, and people are calling it a suicide. So what really happened? It's still a mystery.
Yep, it's a mystery. But I think I know what happened. And sometimes it's just best for me to keep some of the things in my head. We all pretty much know what has happened. We can't pretend that Donnie isn't a saint. I don't care if he did take a Bible and rearrange it some and had his name put on there. He would never be a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He could never be. No, not Donald Trump. It would never happen, y'all. It would never happen. Hold on.
So CNBC just released
red
states of states with the worst quality of life, and I'm going to show you the bottom ones right now. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Weaknesses, crime, health, reproductive rights, strength, child care,
A welfare state.
Great, D-. Next up, Arkansas, D-. Health, crime, inclusiveness are weaknesses, child care, air quality are positive. Next up, Alabama, grade F.
Red state.
We're going to keep going here. Georgia, grade F.
Oh God, I live in the
Next
red
up,
state,
Louisiana,
Georgia.
F. Another one, Utah, F. Another, Indiana, F. Let's keep it going. Texas, F.
This ain't
is the one Republicans
Texas.
all say is the dream state. Quality of life, F. And finally, Tennessee, F.
All
What
red
do all these
states.
states have in common? Right. Republicans run them and have run them for years.
Ran them
This
into the
should dispel
ground.
the myth that Republicans know how to govern, because in the states that they have controlled for a long time, which last I checked, all of those have been run by Republicans for a long time, and in many cases have both the House and the Senate in their states as well, have the worst quality of life. And now Donald Trump.
Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something that's humorous. You know what's the humorous thing that's going on with this chat right now? Just before somebody just hit that like and gave me 74, it was 73 like Donald Trump's IQ. Donald Trump has an IQ of 73. Yeah. His IQ is 73. That's sad, y'all. All that money and no smarts. Just like his wife. She married him for the money and lied that she went to college, y'all. And come to find out Melania Trump never stepped foot in those colleges. Ever. And Donnie flunked out. But his daddy had money to pay his way. Yeah. Donnie's daddy had money to pay his way. I want to thank each and every last one of y'all. We will continue this tomorrow because we're not going to take our foot off of Donnie's fat neck that looks like a manjana. We not. I love each and every last one of y'all. Continue to pray. Keep faith in God. Keep faith in God that we're going to get another win tomorrow as well, because we got a W today. And I want to thank Queen Summer Lee. Because of that, Queen Congresswoman Summer Lee, we got to win. We got to win, y'all. Yes, we did. We will continue this tomorrow, the Epstein Files, the corruption of Donald Trump in that Oval Office, and his Attorney General, Pam Bundy, Kash Patel, and the list goes on and on with his cabinet because, honey, the corruption is real. We will continue tomorrow with the Epstein Files. Hit that like button before you head out of here, please. I love you guys, and may God continue to bless you and your loved ones. Bye.